Alright, you country kumquats, welcome back to, what is it, artwod, portrait roadmap, right? Practicing portraits. We're starting from the very beginning, and we are, I guess I have to say this, like, okay, first of all, draw along, fucking draw along with me, practice the fundamentals, practice whatever it is that I'm practicing, or whatever it is that you want to practice, but let's practice together. Let us practice together. But yeah, I'm implementing the 50 rep rule. I talked about this when I first revitalized, I guess you could say, this portrait series, right? Or like the practice. But 50 rep rule is I do it for 50 reps and then I evaluate whether I understood the concept and I actually got better at what I was trying to do and I feel as if I'm comfortable enough to move on. If yes, move on to the next, literally just the next step of the portrait roadmap. If no, then do another 50 reps, right? So like we're always incrementally, but like we're always going in 50 reps. Therefore, we are not only am I establishing to the audience, you, that hey, it takes a lot of reps, but B, I get a lot of reps in. So it's a win-win. But yes, draw along with me, right? Practice along, keep me on in the background, give me retention, mute my ass if I annoy you, but you want to support such a small content creator, right? But anyways, I'm also trying to think about a story, right? Like these two are talking. She shoved a fucking lollipop up his ass. So he's like, I know you did it. She's like, nobody knows that. He's like, no, I know you did it. This guy's just KO'd, as you can see. And I'm trying to draw helmets over them, right? With the gray brush pen, which is a lot thicker. Not that it's not actually thicker, but the ink is absorbed a lot more onto the page, which is a great incentive for me to really practice fine line controls. So lots of good shit going on. But yeah, practice along, practice your fundamentals, right? Have spatial reasoning be the forefront of it. If that is something you are uncomfortable of or scared of, or any other negative emotion of or respond to when it comes to spatial reasoning, I implore you not to be, and I encourage you to think about it in the fact that drawing is thinking. If you're thinking, you're drawing. If you're not thinking, you're not drawing, you're doodling, right? That's my new little catchphrase I've come up with just a few episodes ago, I guess. It's so weird calling my shit episodes, but anyways, let's just get started. I'm not gonna fucking waste any more time. Right? Okay. Yeah, let's just get started. Dude, is this pen actually dying on me? I'm so confused. I guess it is. What the fuck? I thought this had way more life in it. Yeah, I guess it's just dead. Hold up. This is an amazing start to my drawing session. God damn it. Please, I'm listening to the elevator music while I slowly open my my bag with my pens. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Right. This pen should be a lot better because it's the exact same one, but it's new. Who would have thought? Okay, it's a lot better. Have I just gotten better at using this pen? I don't fucking know, bro. I don't know why my new pens are so ass. Like, what's with the ink flow? But this is actually perfect because now it has the exact same ink flow because it's new as the gray pen. So it's really gonna force me to get better at. Oh, fuck me, that's number 24, not 25. Okay, I guess I'll do 24 here. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to lie to you. Anyways, let's break down what this very simple beanbag shape that artwod teaches is, right? Because this is how they start you off with the portrait roadmap. They're like, don't think too much. Let's not think about Loomis. Let's not think about any of that shit. Let's just create a vaguely organic shape, right? And then let us let's just have some fun and add features on it. So here's how I interpret it, right? Here's how I interpret it. It is half a sphere, right? And then it's kind of like, and then there's another half of a sphere. And then there's like 3/4 of a sphere, which connects it. That's the way I think about it. Right, this is the other half of the sphere. It's obviously not in any which way fucking proper. But that's the way I think about it. And then there's like like a quarter sphere connecting them, right? I'm doing it obviously from a difficult angle, so I do apologize because I wish I could have explained it a bit better, but I will explain it better again. Don't worry, I will do my best to explain it better again. And then the nose again is just half a sphere. in perspective, right? What is the perspective? This is the box I'm thinking about. And that's the thing, like I'm really trying to always think about that box. This guy isn't that happy. And he's looking down at us, right? This is how we can actually practice very difficult, you know, pretty, I guess, stereotypically difficult poses or perspectives, but with more simple shapes, right? Because we're not creating something so organically difficult with hard surfaces and then soft surfaces and then all these plane changes. We're not thinking about any of that. We are just creating a bean, and the way I see it again is just half a sphere. I hope maybe this will give it better, right? This is one half of the sphere, this is the other half, right? It's connected like so. I actually feel as maybe there's a better way to explain it. Yeah, they're like blended together, right? So it's like half a sphere, another half a sphere, and then quarter sphere. I'll draw it again, and hopefully then I can explain it a bit better. And again, because everything's in perspective, and again, everything what's at the forefront of all of this is the box, right? And again, like this is a really great way to get used to drawing organic things, right? Or drawing or form wrapping around organic things, or just thinking about the fact that it's an elliptical plane, right? Or it's a spherical surface, it's an elliptical surface. So we have to keep that in mind when we draw these things. Okay, see now, like I'm trying to draw helmets and stuff. Right here we're doing more medieval. Now I have a sci-fi reference in front of me, so I have to think sci-fi, right? And again, like, is this the best way to go about it? Probably not. And we have to think about the fact that these are contours that have to be aligned at one point. So like, yeah, this is jutting out a bit. We can allow that. It's jutting out. But now we have to think, okay, well, we also do have, this is a head at the end of the day, right? So we have to think about the fact that this is literally something that's going to require wrapping around. And again, the lines are so subpar. But this is how we get better. So we have that, and then now I have to think about the design again. Okay, we have this, and then maybe we have that's the ear section, right? And then how can we connect these? Well, we can connect them first, maybe, there you go, something like that. Right, it's actually even hard to see what the fuck I just did right now because I can't. There, oh, there it is. Yeah, there. So that's a bit better. So how we connect these? Well, we could just bring it around and again form the organicness, I guess you'll call it. Right. This just slowly going around. You can see how bad my lines are with this pen specifically, but that's the good thing. Like I want to reiterate that that's a good thing, right? And then again, maybe for the mouth area, because I'm trying to think about it in terms of 3D, right? So we can have something like let's see, type of shape. Well, it can be something like this. Right? And it goes back here, but how does it go back there? We want little shapes. I'm trying to think about how it would fit, something like that, right? What else can we do? Well, we can try to even make this little chin area right here. Now this is where I'm looking at the reference. not to copy, but to get some sort of inspiration, right? And I'm trying to think about it like there's the orthographic view for all sides, right? That is probably what's going to help a lot. And there you go, and we can simply, hold up, I'm just trying to think. There you go. Something like that, right? And honestly, that's basically the same thing as this. So it's not that good. This is, it feels like there's a lot more that could have been done here. And this is, I think, where this can come in. Again, way too thick of a line, right? Way too thick of a line. That's also way too thick of a line. That's also way too thick of a line. Even that's a bit better. But the main thing is always trying to think about that box. So, you know, something like that. And this is where we can, if we want something to jut out, there you go, right? Because let's say if that's an indent happening there, then we can create that indent here as well, right? And again, this is like, obviously it's gonna look a bit odd to anybody. This is why I guess the process is important. Or not I guess, this is why the process is important, because you wouldn't otherwise know that I actually drew a bunch of shit underneath this, right? That would make it easier to see exactly what it is that's being done. But it's all right. This is actually all right. Like, it's hard to create hard surface or sci-fi designs, but it's what it is. Okay, let's again, we really need to focus on making sure our lines have intent and are clean, right? So this guy's looking down here. This isn't exactly what I wanted to do, but okay, we'll just make 24 next to 25 because clearly, maybe they're power posing on us, right? Maybe that's what's happening. So it's just two fuckers, and they're just like, yes, we are anime. We are very anime. We totally have the anime balls. Okay. Again, sphere. This is the box, so it's actually more like this. Right? Just gotta visualize the box. And then, right, that's the box, okay, and then we have something like that. There you go. That's okay. It's not too bad. Yeah, and they're just power posing on us. They're like, do you know who the fuck I am? I'm Blob Man. That's Blob Master. Yes, because they're blob people. I don't know. That wasn't even me trying to be funny. That was just me trying to say something creative, and both attempts ended horribly. Yeah, he's just like, this is, I guess, a bit of a mouth open, angry. There you go, see? Because the other eye is obviously hidden. Angry eyebrow. I'm trying to follow the contour, right? We're trying to follow this, so it should hopefully make sense. But yeah, I mean, like this is just how it is, right? Like constantly trying to think about the box. I lost the box I'm always trying to think about that box. And here it's this way, right? This actually, dude, fuck, man. Faces are such a great way to practice proportions. I feel as if I've just been shooting myself in the foot at this point, that I didn't start this way sooner. But I'm glad that actually I'm doing it now, to be honest. I'm really glad I'm doing it now. Because I feel as if I built a lot of technical proficiency with all the hard surface and general mech practice that, or not even mech, but just yeah, that's the practice I did regarding really complex shapes and manipulations, and now, and really all the intense spatial reasoning that I did to get to that point. By the way, just to make it clear, I'm thinking about the box. I'm thinking about these spheres inside that box, which are also inside a box. I'm thinking about this, which is a cylinder essentially inside that box, right? And then I'm also thinking about while I'm thinking about all of that, I'm thinking about the contour and where the ear is gonna lie inside that box. I think that's wrong. That's wrong. I made it stick out way too much. So yeah, that's incorrect. It's a good mistake to be making. And you can see, like, this is a bad habit. I want to make it very clear, like the whole noodling, like going against over lines. I'm not as bad as I used to be, but still something to work on. It's always something to work on. You don't want to keep fucking going over the same shit over and over. You've decided, you've committed, therefore that's it. You've decided that you've committed. Nothing more than that. But you know what? How about just for that good old gender equality? This is a woman. Fuck, made that lip way too thick. But hopefully now that she has lips, and let's give her eyelashes, you now know that she is in fact a female. And this is a male. And this is email. Wait, let me just make the icon. Yeah, that's email. It's fucking wow. Holy shit, I'm on a fucking roll with the garbage jokes. Okay, if that's this guy's attire, I guess you could call it, even though it's really bad. If that's his attire, again, we need to look at how it's being done with the examples that I see, right? Like how are they doing sci-fi or hard surface designs? It takes a lot of different things. Military popo helmet. What the fuck is this? These look pretty cool though. Okay, well, let's see. Okay, one thing I messed up here is just because he's looking down at us doesn't mean suddenly this is also looking down at us, right? This perspective. Because if we were to look at him face on, this shit would just be like, if we were to look at him but he's facing us, this would look at us like this. And you'd be like, what the fuck, how are you looking through that? But obviously from the upwards perspective, it's more angled. But if he was looking at his face on, his eye thing would actually be jutting down, and that would make no sense. Because it'd be like, okay, you're going this way. How are you really seeing, right? His eyes are actually being blocked. So again, I think faces and drawing things around faces is a great way to actually think about the functionality of how these things can even make sense, right? So for her, let's see, we can, let's see, what can we do? Well, we want to jut it out a little, but we can maybe start with something like this. See, because now it's like, okay, well, at least we know that this person's actually looking normally. Maybe we can have little cylinder tings. Yeah, main thing is to be, am I in extreme discomfort? No, so I need to go back to thinking about the box. Always be thinking about the box. Okay. I'm just trying to add some interest with the shapes I've decided on. And there you go. Like this can be a lot more, see, because it's connected to that, right? So we can hopefully make a bit more sense. But now this is what I like, is like you can just start adding stuff. So we can start adding things that jut out, right? And that's what I'm noticing a lot in terms of these, references that I see on the screen, right? It's like I'm not trying to copy them, obviously, one for one, but I'm noticing that they have a lot of jut outs. They have a lot of jut outs, and those things do make things look more interesting, right? Okay, so again, let's see, because it is going around the face, so we have to be very aware of that. Because it's coming back down that way, right? Something like that. And again, thinking about the box. I lost the box, but now we're hopefully a little bit back. Let's see if that's the perspective I'm going with. There you go. Right, okay, now what's a unique thing that can be done here that makes it look a bit more proper? Well, let's see, we could follow along with this. And then this can just be sort of, there you go, it's like connected that way, right? The helmet. And let's see, what else do I want to do? Yeah, I'm obviously trying different things based on, if that's coming that way, then this is actually way, it's like that. There you go. It's the helmet. Again, like I know this is very, it looks fucking dumb in the sense that it's just a lot of unnecessary shapes perhaps and overlapping, but I'm personally just trying to figure out how I can even make this make sense. There you go, see? Something like that. And then it's jutting out. There you go. Just got like little gun things. Yeah, and then it's obviously on the other side, we see it too. And then we need to make it that it's, because that helmet maybe doesn't make too much sense. Or maybe that's just how it wraps around her face. I don't know. We'll leave it for now, right? I know there's a lot more clarity with these ones because of medieval stuff, right? Once you start adding hard edges and soft edges, it takes a bit of a turn, doesn't it? But it's not bad. It's not bad. It's the lines are the biggest issues right now, obviously. But either way, I'm gonna rest my brain and then we'll continue onwards. Wonderful. And I encourage you to rest your brain as well. All right, cool. I should have fucking drank some water while I rested my brain. Okay. Yeah, it's actually fucking me that I can't really, what the fuck, this is the old pen. I can't really, it's kind of hard to tell what I'm even doing when I'm creating these types of shapes. But, like, this is a lot more clear, I feel. I think it all just comes down to line quality. It's messy because my lines are messy, right? That's just genuinely it. My lines are messy, the angles are messy, right? It's just not good. So, just continue onwards. 26 now, right? So we just got to keep focusing on making sure my lines are clean and confident. Okay, so we got to just work on that. I think the biggest thing right now that's holding me back is my lines, clearly. Right? Apart from obviously ideating on shapes and making them seem understandable. Like, look at that. That's all a mess because the lines are a mess, right? The clarity is not there. And I could have thought harder. As always, I could have thought a lot harder. Okay, anyways, let's keep going. So these two are like staring you down. They're like, oof, we are bad guys. You don't want to mess with us. Right? And she's like, yeah, totally bad guys. I love Team 4-star. But anyways, okay, what else? What else can we do? What's another pose? What's a story we can tell? Right, this is kind of like what you'd see when you're at death's door, or like in a scene in a movie where they're just staring you down and like dun 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 dun. Right? Maybe that was a bit too heroic for them. Right? These three are. This is kind of just like a situation where they're eyeing each other down, and something happened there. Right? They're talking to each other. There are so many ways to have people interact, or even faces interact, and even like derpy faces like these interact. So we just got to utilize that. Right? Okay, we could have one where someone is asking somebody else a question. Right, so perfect. Okay, so we could have something like this. Okay, think about the box first. Right, thinking about the box. Very good. Okay, there you go. Okay, don't lose the box. Let's keep thinking about the box. Yeah, my lines are definitely the biggest bottleneck right now. See, look at that. Look at that horrendous line. But good. I'm actually like really forcing discomfort here, which I'm proud of myself for. There you go. Okay, and then we bring it around. Like right there. Right? Okay, that's pretty decent. And then we have the eyes. So he's like, ooh, hold up. Okay, I tried to make it on the contour itself. I lost the perspective for a second, but it's not bad. Okay, and then the nose is right in the middle. It's a half a sphere. Let's say this guy was eating, and he's like, what the fuck? He's like, what? Somebody's calling me? So that's the story I'm creating. That somebody's calling him, right? They're asking for him basically. It's not bad. That's not bad at all. Yeah, the thing is, like, they don't tell you specifically to make expressions. Like artwod in this section of the portrait roadmap, literally the first section, there's nothing saying that you have to make expressions. But why not start creating expressions, right? Why not start creating stories? Why not get into the mentality that these aren't just rigid faces, but these are stories to tell? You know, that's the sort of mode I'm trying to promote for myself. Is like, let's start telling stories, right? So maybe honestly, occupation would help a lot too. You know, if we're gonna go by story, like, I had these people specifically be knights. I vaguely was like sci-fi, right? But it doesn't really say anything. You know, what if this guy's just I don't know. Okay, obviously the theme is sci-fi, but this is the problem too, right? Or not a problem, but this is a roadblock, is the fact that if I haven't consumed enough sci-fi content, and I think this is why artists say consume content, and not in a brain rot way, but generally consume things you're interested in, or at least diversify your understanding of the world, or ideas, or lore, or concepts and stuff like that. So when I think sci-fi, I think of Star Wars, right? I think of see, that's the biggest thing, like Star Trek, Star Wars, but there's so much more to sci-fi than just that. Those are great, I'm sure, right? Like I haven't been actually watched Star Trek. Again, like I only know of it. I watched Star Wars sparingly, so clearly, again, like my understanding isn't the best. So how can I say that I understand sci-fi shapes when I haven't even been exposing myself to sci-fi movies or concepts? But let's just say he is a mercenary. Okay, I can do that. He's a mercenary, right? So it's a mercenary, and That's where we'll go from. Right? And we will try our best to make pleasing shapes with the perspective in mind, of course, to the best of our ability. And that's all we can do, really. Something like that. If that's what's happening there, we can do something like, I don't know. He's a mercenary. Let's see. Because I'm also trying to obviously think about pleasing design that follows the form. And again, my lines are going to be reflective of how well I can create the pleasingness, I guess if you're going to call it that, of the forms. Right? But if I were to just do it like this. Okay, so not the best helmet or top head of the shape or whatever I want to do. But let me look at some more examples. Ooh, this one's really nice. And that one's pretty cool. Yeah, there's so much to design that I love, like I genuinely love. See, I don't think I did this right in terms of the perspective, but we have to commit to it now. There you go. And then what else? There's a lot of shapes. Okay, we can try some diagonals. And we can have that something like this. Again, keep thinking about the box. Right? And we will see where that takes us at the end of the day. Again, it's definitely the line thickness. It's the thickness of my lines that are, and obviously my ability to design, right? Like obviously my ability to design, but the main thing right now is obviously, I think the main thing is clearly just my ability to create thin lines that satisfy, right? Okay, and then we can something like that. Yeah, it's all right. I feel as if it's already cleaner just because I'm really focusing on the lines, right? I feel as if just that in of itself is helping a lot, but and the fact that I'm not going over the lines a million times anymore either, right? And this is great practice because again, you have to keep. See, I lost the box there a shit ton for the past 5 minutes. I literally lost the box, but now I'm bringing it back. Right? I'm trying to bring it back to the best of my ability while thinking about contour lines, the forms involved, and of course, at the end of the day, clean lines. I'm trying. I'm trying so hard. But let's see. Okay, and then what do we want here? because that's the top half of the helmet. Yeah, well, we can just have that. This side. If we bring that over here, because I did add that now, we can have there you go, something like this, and then we can maybe, let's see if I look at these examples. Yeah, there's like, again, I'm trying the whole like thing I said in the previous episode, or you know, the hour prior, like last part or whatever, is just trying to think about it as planes, and just what, and then the 3D additions I can add to those planes, or subtractions, right? So clearly this goes around his ear. Let's not lose the box, but let's just think what we could do. Right. Okay, now I've added that. I gotta think about, okay, what... Maybe little elliptical things, right? But we need to also make it a bit more sci-fi-esque, so they can be ridges or cutouts. That looks okay. It's still, like, I understand very much so that this is still kind of hard to read, but I am pretty proud of the fact that, wait, see, like, it's coming out here, so I should probably, there you go, something like that. So it's wrapping around, right? I'm proud of the fact that I'm actually starting to think more. So that's important to me. Thinking, right? Because I can't keep saying drawing is thinking and then I don't even fucking think. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? Okay, let's see. I'm gonna rest my brain and then we're gonna try again. This is good. Like, the biggest thing is I need to obviously constantly be thinking about the box, right? The shape, organic shapes this is wrapping around, and big, medium, small is also another big part of design. Right now, like this area right here is so convoluted. Like this shape is not interesting. This is convoluted. What reads clearly is clearly, no pun intended, I guess. What the fuck reads clearly is clearly this, right? It's like, it's the eyes, it's the mouth thingy. There's like some side shit that's jutting out. I'm just analyzing what works. Here, everything is all over the place. Like, what is this? Why is it jutting out there? I don't understand. There's just some random lines here. And then like the way the glasses are connected don't even make sense. So functionality is important. But yeah, I'm gonna rest my brain. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. But yeah, obviously the biggest cue for me, I mean, there's a million things I'll say that are the biggest things, whatever, like, just accept that, right? That's just the way I speak, or whatever the fuck, right? But important things, whatever. Another important thing is to constantly ask myself, like, am I in extreme discomfort, right? If I'm not, then I'm really just not trying hard enough. And I gotta keep trying hard enough. Because he's like, what the fuck, I'm eating. I'm just trying to eat, bro. I may be a mercenary, but I'm just trying to eat. Hold up. I feel as if this doesn't really attach properly. There you go. Something like that. Oh, there you go. There you go. That makes a lot more sense. Jesus, the burpees. The burping of the man. But let's think. Okay. Alright, what perspective do I want this to be in? Oh, maybe she's kind of rushing. Right? He's like, no, maybe he forgot his fries. So, let's see, what perspective do I want this in? So he's walking away. And she's like, excuse me, mister, you forgot something very important. And he's like, what the fuck do you want? I'm trying to enjoy my meal. And I gotta kill people after. I'm trying to enjoy my meal. And then, what is the... Yeah, it's like that. Okay, so it's... Yeah, again, I don't know why the pen is... It's literally a new pen. I don't know why it's so... shite. I don't know why the lines are so awkward. That's why I'm pretty sure the other pen didn't die. There's just something going on with these pens. Or this batch of pens that I got. It's... fucking shit. Okay, let's get that box back. Right, she's just trying to call out to him. It's important to follow the contour. Always important to follow the contour. Yeah, see? She's like calling out to him. So he's walking. Her head's tilted up, let's say. She's running. She's like, excuse me! Okay. Let's see. So I got... Again, am I in extreme discomfort? No, I need to keep thinking about the box. This is actually not the best in terms of the contour. But we're figuring it out, right? Yeah, not the best, but the point is, we gotta think about the box. Okay, now I'm in a decent amount of discomfort. Okay, that's all right. Again, her nose is at this intersection. And I believe that is correct. Yeah, that is the box. Okay, cool. And then we got... Again, think about the contour, right? So you wouldn't really see the other eye at all. The nose is blocking it in the way. And yeah, she's just... It's like, excuse me? How do you make somebody look as if like they're really, like they're trying to get your attention? Well, we can do this with her face. Seriously, what the fuck is up with this pen? God damn it. Pentel, what the fuck? This is a new pen. It is a new, it is the new pen, right? Is this the new pen or is this the new pen? They're all shit. What the fuck? Please sponsor me. No, I love this pen, which is why I'm even more pissed off, because I don't understand. Like, dude, I literally opened up a new batch, and you could see it was thick. And now, is it the angle I'm holding it in? But that doesn't fucking matter. Dude, it's a goddamn brush pen. It shouldn't matter what angle I'm holding it in. Right? Let's just make sure that the ear is not visible at this point. Think about the box. Yeah, it's not that visible. Oh, it's like more actually. Oh wait, no. Let's recalibrate. Yeah, it's like right around there. Because there you go. Okay. Alright, so we don't see the ear. She's trying to get his attention, and let's say her eyebrows are really raised. Right, she's like, excuse me. Right? Obviously, we don't see the other part of the eyebrow, really. But... okay, that's not bad. I feel as if I'm getting better at least creating the believability and wrapping around the contour. Like, that's not bad. But Now we design, perhaps, again, I guess we want to think big, simple shapes, right? What I'm seeing a lot here is like there's pretty large primary shapes and then smaller secondary and then tertiary shapes inside of it. So this is, I think, what they mean by big, medium, small, right? So if we're thinking primary shapes, we could start with something like this, right? And okay, and again, we got to think about the center as well. Right, something like that. Okay, this can be our very, very, very primary shape, which also is multiple rounded, because obviously we don't want to lose the ability to multiple round. I know in art, it's hard to lose something once you've really practiced it well. I've generally understood that from, especially what Tyrion was telling me, because I was like, oh, should I go to the fundamentals roadmap before I do the portrait? He's like, you won't lose it, bro. I'm like, okay, I'll trust you. That's all it took, right? Just for him to be like, nah, don't worry. I was like, okay, I trust you. But even so, even so, with the goat, the goated, the god, or whatever, as his advice, obviously I still worry whether I'll actually be able to retain. So that would be like a secondary shape, I guess, right? And the secondary shapes are, this is just me thinking out loud, right? None of this is exactly how it should be, are embedded into the primary shapes, right? They're embedded into the primary shapes. And you might think like this is open, but I'm going to do something that makes it not open. And that would be this. Right? This is actually a visor. Right? And it's just connected. There you go. And then what can I add? Yeah, and then like small tertiary shapes are just, I guess, cutouts or little thingies that are additions. So something like this. Right? I don't like the shape that I did. It's too rigid. I was trying to be a bit more organic. But again, if this is our primary shape, right? This is like the main one. I'm just trying to think. I lost the perspective there for a little bit, but I'm just trying to think. This is why I like this exercise, because it really forces me to think about design. It really forces me to think about design. Let's see. Here we go. And we can have something like this. There you go. What about something like that? Right, we can build, this is a secondary shape, I guess you could call it, right? Attached to the primary shape. Something like that. And we can, this is where ellipsis can come into play, right? Trying to keep it simple. I mean, simple in the sense that I'm trying to keep it, what's it called? Like it makes sense. Yeah, so there's that. Comes around. How does this go? Like that, okay. Yeah, it comes around there. And we can this cutout will, let's see, how do we want this to end? Again, I'm just looking at these examples to see how okay, because this is like very organic shape. Right? So it's just how do we want this to there you go, something like that. Ooh, that's not bad. Right? We see that a lot in sci-fi design. And let's see, that can just be like our little speaker. Really trying to think about the perspective, obviously. But the lines, again, are what are getting in the way. And this is our primary shape, right? So we'll just even add more little cutouts there. There you go. And that looks pretty interesting. I will at least give myself credit in that it looks relatively interesting. There you go. What about the other side of her face, though? Well, we could do something like this, right? Because if it's on the other side, we should be seeing something. It would be like that. So then it would be connected like so. There you go. Again, try to keep the lines nice and thin. I wonder if my voice is even coming through, because I obviously quieted down a lot because I'm just thinking about the perspective and what I could add to that. I love this. Like, I do shit and then it gets better at the end. I do shit and then it gets better at the end. I mean, that's learning, right? That's literally learning, is just constantly outputting shit and never knowing whether the shit you're outputting is actually even worth it. But that looks pretty interesting. That looks pretty damn interesting. So yeah, let me rest my brain. I feel as if I'm learning a lot in terms of shapes and designing and trying to keep it relatively simple. But I know big, medium, small is something that has been around for a while, but for me, I like thinking about it in terms of, or not I like thinking about it, it seems I'm gravitating towards the word primary, secondary, and tertiary. Because personally for me, that was just my burp, if anybody was wondering what that fucking grumble was. But personally for me, I guess it seems like right now, primary, secondary, and tertiary helps me think about it in terms of exact same concept, big, medium, small, but those words make me think more about functionality, right? They make me think more about, what's it called? Like how they should be placed, you know, like what their relation to each other should be. Right now, it's seemingly. I'm just gonna fix this because, oh wait, that's the wrong pen, fuck. Because otherwise the perspective is off. See, there you go. It's a bit more accurate, but honestly, I should have just left it. Yeah, wait, yeah, that's the wrong pen. Okay, I'm gonna rest my brain and then I'm going to draw number 28. Right, numero 28. I like doing this shit. This guy's walking away. She's like, you forgot your fries. And then maybe this person over here is the one eating the fries. Because like, if he forgot them, might as well eat them. See, like those lines are fine, and then this line is so thin. I mean, I shouldn't be complaining, but I like crisp thin lines, not fucking faded thin lines. And something is going on with these pens. Is it the way I'm using them? No, because look, I'm just trying to make a line, and it's so faded. It doesn't. It literally. Maybe I need to do this, or maybe I need to really do that. What about that? That make a difference? Oh, that did make a difference. Okay, so I just need to rub it. I just needed to rub one out. Incredible. Okay, let me rest my brain. Okay, I think I have an idea for what I want this person to do, or to be, or to sort of act like, or whatever the fuck. Also, I need to figure out a pen. I need to figure out called? Because the gray is nice. Don't get me wrong, the gray is really nice. I still feel as if it convolutes or complicates things a little bit, but we'll just have to accept it for now. I think we'll just have to accept it for now, right? If I end up finding another pen, because look, this doesn't bleed through the back at all. It's just normal, right? Like you see how there's like very little bleed through compared to when I was doing the green. There's a lot, and that's distracting not only to those of you who for some reason decide to watch, but for me as well. Right? That's extremely distracting for me as well because I don't want to have to see that shit while I'm just trying to draw, right? I can deal with this because I've been dealing with this. This is nothing. It's very minimal. But anyways, maybe, yeah, we'll have this guy over here. He'll be passed out because he ate the fries and he's like, damn, I'm fucking full, right? So let's see. Let's us think. I really like this rep numbering thing I'm doing, to be honest. It's helping a lot with keeping shit making sense and just clean. And I love that I'm starting to create stories. That makes me a lot happier too. Maybe this guy's in the process of passing out. So yeah, we'll do something like this. This is the perspective, and I'm trying to think. This is the perspective. That's the box. Let's really try to be in extreme discomfort here, as I always say. Right? There you go. Let me just think about that box again. Okay, so we can do... like this, and then... Okay, that's the box. Just think this through. Wait, let me figure something out for a second. If that's the box. Oh, okay. Then it's like this. Not completely accurate, but hey, at least my lines are back, Jesus. Okay, so that's relatively what I was trying to go for. There you go, and then so the center line. Seeing a lot more of the bottom of the face, obviously, right? And then, how the fuck? Well, first I want to create the mouth. Or should I, actually, I'll do the ear first, right? Keep, again, extreme discomfort. Constantly keeping the box in mind, right? Just extreme discomfort. That's inaccurate, but it's okay. I think I fixed it slightly. The fuck? Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. I think it's a bit too low, to be honest. But it's okay. We've made the mistake. Just feel good about it. Literally just feel good about it. And then I'm thinking, again, extreme discomfort again. Thinking about the box, thinking about the planes inside that box. Okay, we don't see the other ear. Okay, let's... How do we, what should I do with the eye? Okay, this guy's like passing out, right? Because he ate too much food. He's in the midst of passing out, so we'll do something like... Right? And then what should his eyebrows be like? Like that. Maybe it should be more facing upward. Yeah, there you go. Because that, it doesn't make sense that he's looking at them. He's just taking the food. Okay, I don't know if that really works, but let's just say it does. And then nose is like right here. Okay, lost the perspective again. Let's get that box back. There you go. It's a bit off center, but it's what it is. And then let's see. How do you... Somebody passing out. Just draw the fries. There you go. I think that's a bit better. He's just like, oh, I'm dying. Now we gotta make space for those fries with his helmet, right? Or whatever the fuck he decides to put on him. But okay, so now again we can think about large, like primary. I guess for me, primary, tertiary, or primary, secondary, tertiary. So we can start with here, I think. Even funnier. Is this the gray one? Yeah, it's the gray one. Be like that's the mouthpiece, right? So we'll start with this, and his mouthpiece is open. So obviously he was trying to eat bare fries, right? But obviously it didn't really work out the way he wanted it to. Kind of losing the perspective, but trying to get it back right now. Okay, so that's his mouthpiece. You can see it's open, it's whatever. And then let's see, how do we want the nose? The nose area. Usually the nose area is oh yeah, like it has elongatedness. So let's see. This is actually like I don't want to crowd that area too much, to be honest. We should probably just make a large shape around it and have that be the primary shape. Let's see, something like there you go. We could just do something like this. See? And then yeah, something like that. It comes around. And this will come that way. It's like a larger shape, right? It's going around, and then what else? What else can we do? Well, maybe we can add a little, again, trying to not lose the perspective and to create functionality. We can, if I look at the examples, we can do something like this. Have this also be something that goes around, right? Like that. Yeah, it's definitely the lines that are holding me back right now. Definitely the lines. I mean, apart from ideation, like obviously apart from actually being able to create something interesting. See, it's not following the perspective. So now I have to, like, it's not following the contour, right? So now I have to be like, okay, well, let's just say this and this. It's not even centered. I actually didn't even center it when you think about it. Okay, let's try to think. And maybe there's something jutting out here, right? This can be a secondary shape. How else can we do this? When it comes just right around, connects. Yeah, lines are definitely what's lacking the most. Let's see, obviously got to showcase the multiple rounding. Still, this actually isn't even in the best perspective either, because this probably should be further down here. I love this. Helmet designs are so hard. Good helmet designs are actually so hard. Let's leave it. That was difficult. It was extremely difficult. And that's what we wanted. That's exactly what we wanted. So yeah, it's been an hour and 5 minutes. Again, I put a lot of effort in. I genuinely tried to put as much effort as I could. Was it the most I could have ever put in? Probably not, but it was as much as I could have put in given the context of what I was putting in, if that makes sense. Right? I just consistently just tried to remind myself, like, hey, are you thinking? Hey, are you trying? Hey, are you doing this? And I'm just gonna keep getting better at reinforcing that to myself. And yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be good. And it'll be real fun, right? That's just something my friends would say. One of my friends, like every time we end a chill session, he'd be like, well, it's been real, it's been fun, it's been real fun. We're just like, shut the fuck up. And then he says it again, and we're like, all right, very true. But and then now I say it all the time, so it's worked. Piece of shit's actually got it down to a science when it comes to influencing people. He's the true influencer. But yeah, this was good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're generally doing 4 to 5, I think, right? Trying to think about the design, the shapes. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this is going. I'm very happy with, like, I'm constantly just trying to get better. I mean, it's a huge improvement if you just compare it to yesterday and like the shit I was putting out. Like if you compare it to this, I think there's a pretty good improvement in terms of just functionality and trying to think about it. But I think the main thing I need to do outside of this, and I said this yesterday too, is just try to consume more. Just try to consume more the helmet designs, right? That context, just how things wrap around. Honestly, what's probably best to do is to copy a bunch of helmet designs and just get that in my visual library. Not in a very permanent way, because obviously you can't just, oh, look, I drew it, and then, oh, I understand. It's like, try to just, when I draw, just be like, okay, what is being thought of when this is being drawn, right? Like, what do I think? What do I think the process was? And then I can just apply that to my process. You know, Antonio from artwod, or the artwod channel, put that out a few days ago. The annoying thing about their channel is, like, it's very clickbait title, so it doesn't really, it's hard to, because I can say, like, watch the one that says this is the secret, or like, oh, this is how you get better, but they have like a million videos, or not a million, but they have a bunch of videos that regurgitate that same type of title. So that's not really a slight against them, because obviously they need to play the fucking algorithm game. But I do wish I could be, I wish I could give more specificity when it comes to if I'm referencing an artwod video, right? I can actually fuck this. I'll pull it up right now so you guys know what I'm talking about. But artwod basically put out a video that was okay. This is what it was called. How to actually study a master. There you go. Yeah, how to actually study a master. That's what it's called. And what Antonio was saying is just try to think about the intent. You know, try to think about the intent of what is actually behind the drawing itself. I think this applies to everything. So, like right now when I'll study like a couple of sci-fi helmets and a couple of medieval helmets, and I'll try to think about, okay, what is the intent, right? Like what is actually, like how is functionality, or how is the placement of these design elements being thought of? I think medieval and sci-fi is actually just what I should focus on for the time being. Those are already a pretty wide array of things that you can do. So yeah, we'll just keep fucking, because I got a year of portrait drawing ahead of me minimum, right? So once again, I am pivoting to a different thing, but I think, especially with the advice Broken Draw or Tyrion gave me, right? I think this is the way to go. I think this is, okay, not the way to go. It's annoying to be definitive. I think this is a great way to go, where I can combine hard surface, the things I've learned with like hard surface mechanical design, or just trying to think about functionality with people creating stories and all that shit. So yeah, I think it'll be fine. I think it's definitely a great way to go about it, and we'll see a year from now. So what is it, November 11th, 2025? Let's see how November 11th, 2026 looks like with my portrait drawing, right? But with that being said, I hope you put a lot of effort in. I hope you focus on just enjoying the effort you put in and focusing on the effort, because I tried my best to do that. That's all that matters to me. It doesn't matter how I feel, because what I feel is I put a lot of effort in to the best of my ability, and I'm very, very happy that I put a lot of effort in. So, and I made a lot of mistakes. I hope you just enjoyed making those mistakes, because I definitely did. And yeah, with that being said, as always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing. And please give me one more. Fuck that recording button.